Drowning in debt? Place garlic here for unstoppable wealth, according to Feng Shui. In Asian culture and spirituality, garlic is not just a familiar spice in every family's kitchen, but also an item with immense spiritual power. Since ancient times, garlic has been used to ward off evil spirits, protect people from bad luck, and attract positive energy. Especially when a family is facing financial difficulties, accumulating debt, or internal conflicts, simply knowing how to place garlic correctly in the house can immediately bring good luck, help the family overcome difficulties, and achieve prosperity. In this article, we will explore 7 special locations in the home and elsewhere where you should place or carry garlic to activate wealth, resolve bad luck, and bring prosperity to your family. These are simple yet extremely effective tips that anyone can apply to change their destiny. Place garlic in the southeast corner of the house. In Feng Shui, the southeast corner is considered the wealth sector, a place where energy related to money and prosperity concentrates. This is one of the most important areas in the house, regarded as the center for attracting and protecting wealth. Placing garlic in this location will activate the wealth sector, attracting strong positive energy and warding off negative energy that could affect the family's finances. Especially if you are experiencing financial difficulties or feel that money isn't flowing smoothly, placing garlic in the southeast corner will help resolve obstacles and open doors to new opportunities. Garlic has the ability to absorb and transform negative energy into positive energy, helping protect the family from misfortune. Placing a bunch of garlic or several cloves of garlic in the southeast corner of the house can bring peace, wealth, and good luck to the homeowner. You will feel a clear change in your financial luck and prosperity, especially when you maintain this placement continuously and regularly. Place garlic under the bed. The space under the bed is where energy from sleep is gathered and can affect the homeowner's health and wealth. Placing garlic under the bed helps purify this space, removing negative energy and creating a positive environment that facilitates deeper sleep, which in turn improves health and sharpens the mind. The space under the bed is an area often overlooked but is crucial in protecting sleep and the spirit. In addition, garlic has the ability to protect you from evil or negative energy, especially when you feel your sleep is disturbed or you frequently have nightmares. Placing garlic under the bed will not only help you sleep better but also enhance good luck and wealth, helping the homeowner achieve peace in daily life. Those who frequently experience sleep problems should try this method to improve their sleep quality and spirit. Carry garlic in your wallet. Your wallet is where your financial energy is stored, and carrying a small clove of garlic in your wallet can help protect your wealth, prevent loss, and attract new financial opportunities. Carrying garlic in your wallet is a simple yet highly effective Feng Shui tip to ward off evil and attract wealth. Garlic will help you maintain positive energy in financial transactions, ensuring that your money is always protected. In addition, carrying garlic in your wallet also helps you avoid negative energy sources, especially when exposed to negative environments. Garlic will create an invisible shield that helps you feel safe and increases confidence in financial decisions. Many people have used this method and noticed positive changes in their financial luck. You should try carrying a small clove of garlic in your wallet to experience this change. Place garlic in the bedroom. The bedroom is a place to rest and restore energy after a day of work. Placing garlic in the bedroom, especially near the bed, will help you eliminate bad dreams and ward off negative energy that can affect sleep and health. Garlic also helps protect the resting space from bad luck, bringing deep and peaceful sleep. A good and deep sleep is the foundation for a clear mind, helping you work effectively and solve problems in life more easily. This can lead to new opportunities in work and life, helping to advance your career and improve your quality of life. Try placing garlic under your pillow or at the head of your bed to experience the positive change it brings. You will find that not only is your sleep improved, but the following day also becomes easier and smoother. Place garlic at the doorway. The doorway is where the main air currents enter the house and is the gateway of energy. Placing garlic in the doorway will help prevent negative energy and evil from entering the house, protecting the family from misfortune. Garlic will create a powerful protective shield that helps the family remain peaceful and prosperous. In addition, garlic also helps enhance positive energy and attract wealth into the house. When the doorway is protected by cloves of garlic, you will find that good things and good luck will come to you more easily. This is a simple yet effective way to protect and enhance the family's fortune, especially if you frequently have guests or work with many people. Placing garlic at the doorway will help protect the house from negative influences from the outside. Place garlic on windowsills. Windows are the intersection between the inside and outside of the house. Placing garlic on the windowsill will help prevent negative air currents from entering the house, while protecting the family from negative influences from the outside. Garlic will create a solid protective shield, helping the family remain peaceful and prosperous. Garlic also helps enhance positive energy in the house, attracting good luck and wealth to the family. When windowsills are protected by bulbs of garlic, your living space will be safer, and good things will come to you more easily. This is one of the simplest but most effective ways to enhance good luck and wealth for the family, especially on windy days or bad weather. Garlic on windowsills will protect your home from unwanted influences. Place garlic in the workplace. The workplace is where your career and success are determined. Placing garlic in the workplace, especially near the desk, will help enhance concentration, eliminate negative energy, and attract new opportunities. Garlic will help create an effective working space where all projects and tasks proceed smoothly and successfully. When placing garlic in the workplace, you will find that your work will be easier, work relationships will improve, and difficulties in work will gradually be resolved. This is a simple yet effective way to protect and enhance your career, helping you achieve greater success in the future. Especially if you feel your work is at a standstill or you are encountering many obstacles. Placing garlic in the workplace can bring positive changes, helping you overcome difficulties and achieve your goals. In Feng Shui, garlic is not just a familiar spice but also a powerful Feng Shui item with the ability to change the destiny of a house. By placing garlic in strategic locations such as the southeast corner, under the bed, in your wallet, in the bedroom, at the doorway, on windowsills, and in the workplace, you can ward off evil, resolve bad luck, and attract wealth for the family. These simple methods not only help overcome financial difficulties, but also bring prosperity, peace, and happiness to the entire family. Apply these tips now to protect and enhance the luck of your home so that every day is a lucky day filled with prosperity. Thank you for listening to the Light of Knowledge channel. If you find this helpful, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the latest videos. Remember these 3 methods and you will thank me in 50 years. Have you ever wondered how ancient rituals and simple objects can change your life? Imagine discovering the secrets to prosperity, protection, and self-development through items like a clove of garlic or a key. In this video, we will learn about everyday talismans that can help you attract wealth and unlock new opportunities. This is not about superstition. It's about how you set your intention and turn your desires into reality. In 50 years, you will thank me for this secret. I will share 3 simple methods to protect, attract money, and call for prosperity. Current financial difficulties or debt are normal. Today, I'll show you how to overcome them with helpful tips and an ancient technique to prevent negative energy from affecting your finances. Be careful and protect yourself. A simple but effective method to dispel negative emotions such as anger. Have you seen people hanging garlic in their homes? It's not just to dispel negativity. Garlic also protects the kitchen space, a symbol of prosperity. The power of garlic is not folklore. It can truly be your protective shield. The first method: hold a clove of garlic in your hand. Close your eyes and imagine a light bringing peace and happiness. State positive affirmations. The power of garlic is activated by your belief. Keep it like a loyal friend to protect you always and everywhere. If the garlic starts to change, it's a sign that it has absorbed negative energy. Replace it with new garlic and continue the process. Garlic can make a big difference, especially in stressful environments like the workplace. Try it and you will be surprised by the results. Garlic helps enhance your luck, finances, and peace. The second method: take 7 whole cloves of garlic, hold them in your left hand, close your eyes, and repeat 3 times, "I attract infinite wealth." Believe in what you say because belief is the most important thing. After the ritual, keep the garlic in your left pocket. This method has helped many people, and it can also do wonders for you. Try it and see. The third method. Let's move on to the last talisman. A key not only opens physical doors, but also opens up everything good you desire. Choose a silver or gold key, as they are considered colors that attract money and success. Tie 3 knots on a green ribbon and attach it to the key. In many cultures, the number 3 symbolizes good things. Clearly state, "I am ready to receive prosperity." Always keep the talisman with you, under your pillow, or in your pocket to remind yourself that good things are coming. These rituals are not just about the objects, but also about the mindset they bring. When you focus on prosperity, you shape your reality. These items help you connect with yourself and build confidence and patience to overcome all challenges. When you nurture your inner world, it will reflect in your external life, bringing positive energy and prosperity. Below are 5 main meanings that we want to convey, and they are for you, so let's listen together. Meaning 1, the power of intention and belief. We want to emphasize that simple objects like cloves of garlic and keys have no real magical value. Their power lies in the intention and belief of the user. If you believe that garlic can protect and a key can unlock opportunities, this will create a positive mindset that helps you act towards achieving your goals. This relates to positive psychology, where creating belief and having clear goals can lead to action and positive results in life. Meaning 2, the symbolism of garlic and keys. In many cultures, garlic is seen as a talisman to ward off evil, negative energy, and bring protection to the family. In your scenario, garlic acts as a shield to help the user protect themselves from negative influences, not only from the outside but also from within, such as negative emotions, anger, and jealousy. This symbolizes preserving mental health and positive energy. Keys are often seen as symbols of unlocking, not only literally but also figuratively, implying the unlocking of opportunities and new possibilities. In the scenario, the key is linked to opening doors to prosperity, success, and opportunities for growth in personal and professional life. It also suggests that the user has control and freedom to choose their path. Meaning 3, the importance of practice and patience. We emphasize that using these items is not just a one-time action but a daily habit. Keeping garlic in your pocket, hanging it in the house, or using the key to activate prosperity speaks to the importance of persistence and continuous practice to achieve goals. It is not just instant magic but a process of self-improvement that requires effort and focus. Meaning 4, interaction with surrounding energy. We want to emphasize that people need to pay attention to the energy around them, especially in the workplace and family environment. Garlic is seen as a way to absorb and transform negative energy into something positive. This means the user must be aware of and manage the influences around them, not letting negative energy affect their spirit and life. Meaning 5, the power of ancient traditions. The use of simple and traditional items like garlic and keys in this scenario is a connection to ancient rituals and folklore. It reflects the idea that ancient wisdom still has value in modern life, bringing protection and prosperity through simple things. It reminds us that we need to return to traditional values to find balance and peace in life. The lessons of success and prosperity do not come from outside but from how you believe and act in life. These practices are a way to maintain positivity and protect yourself from negative influences, both emotionally and spiritually. Here are 6 stories in Buddhism about the practice of belief, positive thinking, overcoming difficulties, and conquering yourself through temptations. Please listen with us. 1. The story of Angulimala, from sinner to saint. Angulimala, which means garland of fingers, is one of the most famous figures in Buddhist scriptures. He lived a turbulent life, going from notorious murderer to saint through the guidance and compassion of the Buddha. Background: Angulimala was once a bright and gifted student of a renowned teacher. He was a good person, but due to the jealousy of those around him, he was harmed by those who spoke ill of him to his teacher. Believing these lies, his teacher became angry and gave Angulimala an impossible task. He had to kill 1,000 people, take their fingers as proof, and make a garland from them to prove his loyalty. With blind loyalty, Angulimala began to carry out this task. He became a notorious killer, stalking and killing without hesitation. Each time he killed someone, he cut off their finger and added it to his bloody garland. Fear of Angulimala spread everywhere. He became the enemy of society, and his reputation echoed across the kingdom. Meeting the Buddha, Angulimala had killed over 900 people and was only a few short of completing his task. At this time, the Buddha, with infinite compassion, decided to intervene to save Angulimala from the path of sin. Knowing that if he didn't act promptly, Angulimala would suffer terrible consequences for his evil deeds. The Buddha went into the forest where Angulimala was hiding. Seeing the Buddha, Angulimala immediately became enraged and chased him, intending to kill him. However fast Angulimala ran, the Buddha walked calmly and Angulimala could not catch him. Tired and angry, Angulimala shouted, "Stop, ascetic!" The Buddha turned around and said, "I have stopped, but you have not." Angulimala was surprised and asked, "You have stopped, but I have not. What does that mean?" The Buddha replied, "I have stopped all evil actions and stopped harming all beings, but you continue on the path of killing. When you stop, that is when you will find true peace." These words were like a light that awakened Angulimala's dark mind. He realized all the terrible actions he had committed. A sense of regret filled his soul, and right there, Angulimala decided to abandon his path of sin. He knelt before the Buddha, asking to be taught and vowed to give up all evil deeds. Transformation. Through the Buddha's compassion, Angulimala became a disciple and a Buddhist monk. He practiced with sincerity, constantly striving to atone for his mistakes. Although many hated him, harassed him, and even beat him for his sinful past, Angulimala patiently endured and never retaliated. Through diligent practice, Angulimala finally achieved arhatship, becoming a saint completely free from reincarnation and karma. His life is clear evidence of karma, where every action has an effect. However, if one truly repents, practices, and transforms, they can change their destiny. Lessons from the story. The story of Angulimala contains many important lessons about karma in Buddhism. Karma is not fixed. Bad actions create bad karma, but karma is not an unchangeable fate. If one recognizes their mistakes and strives to change, they can transform karma and find a path to liberation. Compassion can save everyone. The Buddha did not judge or punish Angulimala, even though he was a ruthless killer. Instead, he used compassion to guide him and help change his life. This emphasizes that everyone has the potential for enlightenment, regardless of their past. The power of repentance and practice. Angulimala's transformation was not magic, but the result of sincere repentance and diligent practice. His constant effort and determination to give up sin helped him achieve liberation. Evil actions lead to suffering. Before meeting the Buddha, Angulimala was a sinner living in hatred and misery. People around him hated him, and he had no peace. This demonstrates that bad actions always bring negative consequences, and we cannot escape our karmic effects unless we truly repent and change. The story of Angulimala is a great illustration of karma in Buddhism. It shows that no matter how big a mistake we have made, there is always an opportunity to change and improve our lives. As long as we have sincerity, repentance, and determination to practice, every action has an effect. But what is important is that we have the ability to change our future through doing good and diligent practice. 2. The story of Mara and the temptations. The story of Mara is one of the most famous in Buddhism, especially related to the Buddha's path to enlightenment. It is about the final challenges the Buddha faced before reaching complete enlightenment, and Mara represents the temptations and obstacles that all people face on the path to liberation. Background: when the Buddha was still Prince Siddhartha, he renounced his royal and luxurious life to find a way to free humanity from suffering. After years of searching and practice, he finally decided to sit under a Bodhi tree to meditate and not leave until he found the ultimate truth about life. On the night he was about to reach enlightenment, Mara, the king of desire and temptation, decided to stop the Buddha's enlightenment. Mara realized that if Siddhartha reached enlightenment, he would help humankind escape the cycle of suffering, and Mara's power would weaken. Mara's attack. Mara knew that if the Buddha reached enlightenment, people would no longer be tempted by desire, greed, hatred, and material desires. Therefore, Mara decided to use all of his abilities to challenge and stop the Buddha. Mara sent out three of the greatest temptations that people can face: fear, desire, and arrogance. Attack with a demonic army. First, Mara sent an army of demons to attack the Buddha. These demons roared and attacked with all kinds of dark weapons and magic. They created terrifying scenes to make the Buddha afraid and abandon his meditation. However, the Buddha remained calm and unmoving. He had achieved a deep level of meditation where nothing external could affect his mind. Mara's weapons and demons became useless, turning into flowers when they touched the Buddha, symbolizing the power of peace and compassion against any external attacks. Temptation with beauty. After failing to create fear, Mara switched to using beauty and desire to tempt the Buddha. Mara summoned his three beautiful daughters, the symbols of lust and pleasure, to seduce him. They tried to seduce the Buddha in every way, hoping that desire would pull him back into the material world and prevent him from reaching enlightenment. However, the Buddha, with his wisdom and determination, did not let himself get caught up in temporary desires. He recognized that desire and pleasure only bring suffering and attachment to the cycle of reincarnation. He remained unyielding, and Mara's daughters, no matter how hard they tried, could not make him give up his meditation. Final challenge: arrogance and self-satisfaction. Finally, Mara decided to attack the Buddha with his strongest weapon: arrogance and self-satisfaction. Mara appeared before the Buddha and said, "Do you think you can achieve enlightenment and save humanity? You are not worthy. Only I am the strongest and most worthy to rule this realm." Mara tried to sow doubt in the Buddha's mind, making him wonder if he was truly worthy of achieving enlightenment. Mara asked the Buddha to prove that he was worthy by summoning witnesses. In response to Mara's request, the Buddha touched the ground, and Mother Earth Prithvi appeared as a witness to prove that the Buddha had accumulated merit over many lifetimes, and he was truly worthy of enlightenment. Mother Earth said that Siddhartha was the most worthy to reach enlightenment because he had given up all material things and lived with compassion and wisdom. Mara, seeing that he could not shake the Buddha and that he had overcome all temptations that humans could face, finally had to give up and disappear. Enlightenment. After overcoming all of Mara's challenges, the Buddha continued to meditate deeper and finally achieved complete enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. He found a way to end suffering and the cycle of reincarnation, becoming the Sakyamuni Buddha. He spent the rest of his life teaching, helping people understand karma, reincarnation, and the Noble Eightfold Path to escape suffering. Lessons from the story. Temptations are always present. The story of Mara represents the temptations that each person faces in life, from fear and desire to arrogance and self-satisfaction. Mara is not a specific figure but represents all the obstacles we face when trying to find happiness, peace, and enlightenment. To overcome these challenges, we need wisdom and determination. Inner peace. The Buddha did not use physical strength or violence to fight Mara. He used his inner peace and wisdom. This shows that true protection does not come from avoiding or defeating enemies but from tranquility and freedom from the temptations in our minds. Your own will decides your fate. The Buddha proved that no external force can control us if our minds are not swayed. We can overcome any temptation or challenge if we know how to master our minds. The power of humility and compassion. Instead of arrogance and self-satisfaction, the Buddha chose humility and compassion to overcome temptation. This teaches that the path to enlightenment and true happiness is not ownership and power but letting go and compassion for all beings. The story of Mara and the temptations is a symbol of the challenges that we all face in life. Mara represents fear, greed, lust, and arrogance, things that prevent people from achieving happiness and peace. The Buddha overcame these challenges with wisdom and tranquility, showing that the path to liberation comes not from external power but from mastering and purifying the mind. 3. The story of Anathapindika, the wealthy benefactor. Anathapindika, known as the giver to the poor, is one of the most famous benefactors in Buddhist history. He is known for being wealthy and generous, but also someone who learned deep lessons about greed and the value of compassion through the teachings of the Buddha. Background. Anathapindika was a wealthy and powerful merchant living in the city of Savatthi. He was famous for his philanthropy, always helping the poor and orphan children. Therefore, people gave him the nickname Giver to the Poor. Despite having a lot of material wealth, Anathapindika still felt empty inside and always searched for the true meaning of life. One day, hearing of the presence of the Buddha, Anathapindika decided to meet him to learn about his teachings. This meeting completely changed his life. Meeting the Buddha. When meeting the Buddha, Anathapindika was taught about greed, wealth, and how people should live to achieve true happiness. The Buddha explained that material wealth only brings temporary happiness, and if people only focus on accumulating wealth, they will be tied to the cycle of suffering. The Buddha said that if people have a lot of money but do not know how to use it properly, their wealth only brings misery and worry. Wealth cannot bring eternal happiness. Only by sharing and living with compassion can you find peace. Anathapindika felt the depth of the Buddha's words. He realized that despite having a lot of wealth, it did not bring him true happiness. He decided to learn Buddhism and change his life. Lessons of compassion and sharing. After learning from the Buddha, Anathapindika decided to use his wealth to help more people in need. He did not just use money to build temples for the Buddha and the monks, but he also cared for the homeless, providing food, clothing, and shelter for the poor. He dedicated a large part of his wealth to build a large monastery called Jetavana, where the Buddha and his disciples could rest and teach. This was one of the largest and most famous monasteries at the time. Although he had given a lot of wealth to help others, Anathapindika still felt satisfied and at peace. He was no longer bound by greed and worry about wealth. He felt that his life became more meaningful and peaceful than ever before through sharing and compassion. Anathapindika's later life. As Anathapindika became weaker, his health declined, and he gradually ran out of money because he had used most of it to help others. However, he did not regret this. On the contrary, he felt he had lived a meaningful and happy life because he knew that real wealth did not lie in material possessions but in compassion and love for everyone. When he was about to die, the Buddha sent his close disciples to visit and comfort him. Anathapindika passed away peacefully, with the belief that he had lived a full life without being dominated by greed. Lessons from the story. The story of Anathapindika teaches us deep lessons about greed, material wealth, and sharing. Wealth does not bring lasting happiness. Although Anathapindika was wealthy, he realized that wealth only brings temporary satisfaction. If one only focuses on accumulating wealth without knowing how to share and use it properly, one will always be worried and never find peace. Sharing is the source of true happiness. Anathapindika found joy and peace from sharing his wealth with those less fortunate. Sharing not only benefits the recipient, but also helps the giver feel peaceful and happy. Compassion and letting go. Anathapindika's story emphasizes the importance of compassion and the ability to let go of greed. When we are not attached to material things and live with compassion, we can find true happiness and live a meaningful life. The value of enlightenment. Anathapindika's life is clear evidence of how listening to and applying the Buddha's teachings can help one. When he learned to let go of greed, he achieved enlightenment about the true value of life, which does not lie in material possessions but in the kindness and compassion for all. Comparing with the story of King Midas. The story of Anathapindika has many similarities to the story of King Midas in Greek mythology. Both stories talk about greed and the desire to control wealth. However, Anathapindika realized early on that wealth does not bring true happiness, and he found a path to liberation through compassion and sharing. Meanwhile, King Midas learned about greed in a more painful way when everything he touched turned to gold, even his food and daughter. The story of Anathapindika is a great example in Buddhism of how a wealthy person who knows how to let go of greed and live with compassion can achieve peace and happiness. Whether his life is rich or poor, he still felt satisfied and fulfilled. This is an important lesson about the true value of life, which does not lie in material possessions, but in love and compassion for all. 4. The story of the merchant and the eightfold path. Background. Once upon a time, there was a wealthy merchant living in a city. He was famous for his business acumen and wealth, but he was even more famous for his greed and attachment to material possessions. The merchant was always worried about losing his wealth. Therefore, he spent most of his time protecting his wealth, even rarely caring about his family and friends. Despite having a lot of wealth, He never felt satisfied and always lived in fear and worry. One day, he heard news of the Buddha and his teachings about the path to true peace and happiness. Although he didn't initially believe these teachings, his curiosity prompted him to meet the Buddha and listen to his teachings. Meeting the Buddha. When the merchant met the Buddha, he asked, "Venerable Sir, I have a lot of wealth, but why am I still always worried and cannot find true happiness? How can I live peacefully without being bound by my wealth?" The Buddha realized that the merchant was blinded by greed and attachment, and this was the source of all his suffering. The Buddha taught him about the Eightfold Path, the path that helps people escape all attachments and find true happiness. The Eightfold Path, the path to escape suffering. The Buddha explained that desire, yearning for material possessions and power is one of the three main poisons of human beings: greed, anger, and ignorance. Only when a person gives up this desire can they be free from the cycle of reincarnation. The Eightfold Path is the path that helps one escape suffering. The Buddha explained each step of the Eightfold Path to the merchant, encouraging him to practice giving up desire, right understanding, samadhi, understanding the true nature of the world, recognizing that life is impermanent and all things are affected by cause and effect. The Buddha taught that greed and attachment only increase suffering because possessions are temporary. Right thought, samma sankappa, thinking correctly and not being influenced by desires and attachment. The Buddha reminded the merchant that he needs to have compassion and kindness instead of focusing too much on material wealth. Right speech, samma vaka, speaking truthfully and kindly. The Buddha taught that the way we communicate with others affects our souls. We should use language to convey love and truth instead of deceiving or stirring greed. Right action, samma kamanta, acting correctly, avoiding actions that harm others. The Buddha advised the merchant to act with compassion and not to harm others for personal gain. Right livelihood, samma ajiva, earning an honest living, not harming others for profit. The Buddha reminded the merchant that true wealth does not cause suffering to others for personal gain. Right effort, samma vayama, making right effort, diligently abandoning evil and developing goodness. The Buddha taught the merchant to be diligent and persistent on the path to liberation instead of being caught up in temporary material desires. Right mindfulness, samasati, being aware of the true nature of reality, always being mindful of our actions, words, and thoughts. The Buddha advised the merchant to practice mindfulness to avoid being influenced by greed and anxiety about his wealth. Right concentration, samma samadhi, practicing the right meditation to achieve concentration and peace of mind. The Buddha advised the merchant to practice meditation to calm his greedy thoughts and find inner peace. The merchant's realization. After listening to the Buddha's teachings on the Eightfold Path, the merchant realized that his worries and fears all came from greed and attachment to material possessions. He realized that no matter how much wealth he accumulated, it could not bring him true happiness if his mind was still tied to it. The merchant promised the Buddha that from now on, he would live according to the Eightfold Path. He began sharing his wealth with the poor and focused on practicing meditation to achieve inner peace. He let go of greed and attachment to possessions, finding true happiness through letting go and sharing. Gradually, the merchant no longer lived in worry and fear. He lived a peaceful life, no longer bound by his wealth. He understood that true happiness came from letting go of greed and living with compassion and wisdom. Conclusion. Ultimately, the merchant achieved peace and happiness by practicing the Eightfold Path and giving up his inner desires. He became a wealthy man, not only in material possessions but also in wisdom and compassion, finding true satisfaction in life. Lessons from the story. Greed and attachment are the source of all suffering. The story emphasizes that greed and attachment to material possessions will only lead people into a cycle of worry and suffering. The Eightfold Path is the way to escape suffering. The Buddha taught that only by practicing the Eightfold Path can people be freed from the bonds of greed and achieve lasting happiness. Letting go to achieve true happiness. Happiness does not come from possessing material wealth, but from letting go of greed and living a life directed toward compassion and wisdom. The story of the merchant and the Eightfold Path illustrates that only when we know how to let go of greed and attachment can we find peace and true happiness. The Eightfold Path is the path that helps people escape suffering and achieve enlightenment through self-discipline in morality, wisdom, and meditation. 5. The story of the rich man without happiness from the Dhammapada. This story, found in the Dhammapada, a collection of the Buddhist teachings, tells of a rich man who could not find true happiness despite his wealth. The story clearly reflects Buddhist philosophy on greed, attachment, and inner peace. Background: in a village during the Buddha's time, there lived a man named Kumbhagosaka, a wealthy and famous merchant. He owned enormous treasures, luxurious houses, and many slaves. However, despite his material wealth, Kumbhagosaka did not feel happy. He was always worried about protecting his assets, fearing that someone would come to steal or harm his family. Every night, he suffered from insomnia thinking about his assets, and he didn't know how to stop the anxiety that filled his mind. Although he had everything that an ordinary person could wish for, he always felt empty and insecure. Meeting the Buddha. One day, hearing that the Buddha was teaching nearby, Kumbhagosaka decided to listen. He hoped to find answers to the questions that always plagued his mind. Why do I have everything, but I still don't feel happy? Why can't I find happiness even though I have more than I need? When he met the Buddha, Kumbhagosaka shared his story, saying, "Venerable Sir, I have a lot of wealth, but I am not happy. My mind is always full of worry and fear about the future. Why can't I find happiness even though I have more than I need?" The Buddha smiled and replied that material wealth does not bring lasting happiness. What causes people to suffer is not a lack of assets, but because their minds are bound by greed and attachment to temporary things. To find happiness, you must learn to let go and master your mind. The Buddha's teachings through the Dhammapada. The Buddha continued to teach that happiness does not lie in material wealth, but in a peaceful soul and the ability to let go. He recited a famous verse from the Dhammapada, saying, "The wise person without property is also happy. The foolish person has possessions but does not find joy because greed has no limits, so the fool lives in anxiety and insecurity." This verse emphasizes that a wise person, even without much wealth, can find happiness because they are not controlled by greed. On the other hand, a foolish person, despite having a lot of wealth, does not find happiness because their mind is always attached to material things and does not know how to let go. Lessons from the story. After hearing the Buddha's teachings, Kumbhagosaka realized that it was his own greed and attachment to possessions that made him unable to find happiness. He decided to change his way of life, learn how to share his wealth with those in need, and focus on cultivating his soul. He began meditation and practiced mindfulness to calm his mind, let go of worries about the future, and no longer be bound by material possessions. Thanks to this, he gradually found inner peace and true happiness. The meaning of the story: material wealth does not bring lasting happiness. The story emphasizes that even with a lot of wealth, people can still live in suffering if they are controlled by greed and attachment. True happiness does not come from external assets but from inner peace, letting go to find happiness. The story teaches that only when people learn to let go of attachment to material things can they find true happiness. Wealth is not the key to happiness, but rather a peaceful soul that is not bound. The Dhammapada as a source of wisdom. The story illustrates how the Buddha's verses in the Dhammapada can help people understand the true nature of suffering and happiness. Through understanding and practicing Buddhist teachings, people can change their lives and achieve liberation. The story of the rich man without happiness is clear evidence of Buddhist philosophy about greed and inner happiness. No matter how much material wealth a person has, they cannot achieve true happiness if they do not know how to let go and master their mind. Happiness comes from serenity and compassion, not from what we own. 6. The story of Siddhana Tiantai and his pilgrimage. The story of Siddhana Tiantai Dongtu is one of the most important and famous stories in the Avatamsaka Sutra, a major scripture in Mahayana Buddhism. This story tells of the spiritual journey of Siddhana, a young man who is eager to learn and achieve enlightenment. Siddhana's journey is evidence of persistence, a thirst for truth, and the deep meaning of studying Buddhism. Background: Siddhana was the son of a wealthy family, but from a young age, he had a desire to find a path to enlightenment and liberation from suffering. Sadhana was not attracted to material possessions or power, but wished to learn things that were more valuable. With support from his parents, Sadhana began his journey of learning to achieve wisdom and compassion. Meeting Manjushri Bodhisattva. First, Sadhana met Manjushri Bodhisattva, one of the bodhisattvas who represents wisdom in Buddhism. Sadhana asked the bodhisattva to teach him the path to enlightenment. Manjushri taught that the path to enlightenment cannot be achieved by just one lesson or one teacher. You must learn from many people, each with their own understanding and experience of the Dharma. You also need to practice patience and persistence, constantly learning from everyone and everything in life. After that, Manjushri told Sadhana that his journey would consist of meeting 53 good teachers, each with their own wisdom and experience, and they would teach Sadhana a part of the truth. Manjushri advised Sadhana to remain humble and patient on this path. The journey of meeting 53 teachers. On his spiritual journey, Sadhana met 53 different teachers, each imparting valuable lessons about Buddhism and life. The teachers Sadhana met were not just monks or practitioners. They were also people from different walks of life. This shows that enlightenment and wisdom can come from anyone, regardless of their social status. Some examples of the teachers Sadhana met include Brahmanas Jayasmaya. Brahmanas Jayasmaya was a master of compassion and patience. He taught Sadhana that compassion is the core of the path to practice. Every action of a person should come from compassion and care for others. He advised Sadhana to always help others without expecting personal gain. The great orator. This teacher taught Sadhana about oration, the ability to speak clearly and easily convey the teachings to others. Oratory is not just the ability to lecture about the Dharma, but also the ability to convey the truth and help others understand the truth. A blacksmith. One of the teachers Sadhana met was a blacksmith. This teacher taught Sadhana a lesson about patience and persistence. When forging metal, a blacksmith must be patient and focused. This is similar to training the mind, which requires patience and persistence, not haste. A king. Sadhana also met a king who taught him about responsibility and compassion in leadership. This king showed that power and position are not the ultimate goal of life, but how we use that power to benefit others. A true leader must use power to create fairness and help their people. Profound lessons from Sadhana's journey. Each teacher Sadhana met gave him a valuable lesson, helping him understand more deeply the nature of life and the path to practice. Everyone had their own way of practicing, and from this, Sadhana learned that enlightenment does not come from a fixed path, but that there are many ways to achieve liberation and wisdom. He realized that life is full of lessons and challenges, and that learning from everyone around him is how to improve himself and understand truth more deeply. Meeting Samantabhadra Bodhisattva. After meeting 52 teachers and learning from them, Sadhana finally met his last teacher, Samantabhadra Bodhisattva. This is one of the most important bodhisattvas in Buddhism, representing compassion and limitless understanding. Samantabhadra taught Sadhana that wisdom and compassion must go hand in hand. It's not just about understanding the teachings, but acting to benefit others. Wisdom is not meant to be kept to oneself. It must be used to help all beings. Samantabhadra led Sadhana to the pinnacle of enlightenment, teaching him that enlightenment is not the destination but a continuous journey. Enlightenment never completely ends, as we always need to continue learning, practicing, and helping others. The meaning of the story of Sadhana. Enlightenment is a diverse and varied journey. The story shows that enlightenment cannot be achieved through just one teacher or one lesson. It requires constant learning and open-mindedness to accept lessons from many people in different situations in life. Everyone can be a teacher. Sadhana learned from teachers from different backgrounds and professions, from practitioners to ordinary people like blacksmiths. This teaches that anyone and anything in life can be a source of wisdom if we know how to open our minds to learn. Compassion and wisdom go hand in hand. Enlightenment is not just knowledge. It must also be shown through compassionate actions. True enlightenment is when we not only understand the nature of existence but also know how to act to help others. The story of Sadhana is a great spiritual journey that illustrates the pursuit of enlightenment through learning from everyone and every situation. The story teaches us that patience, humility, and compassion are the core elements of the Buddhist practice, and wisdom never ends. It is a continuous journey in life. Thank you for joining me on this journey of exploring the power of the 3 methods of garlic and the key. If you have any questions or want to share your story, please leave a comment. Please continue this journey together by liking, subscribing, and turning on notifications to receive the latest information. Please relax, take a deep breath, and listen with me to a relaxing piece of music so your soul and body can rest and recover. You will see a miracle after listening to it.